Hello, everybody. This is Noah. This is my portfolio for business practices in art. So, starting off, we've got the first piece here, which is a part of my senior thesis show called Outsiders. This piece is called Product of Trust. And so, this is kind of just a result as to trusting in the Lord and then maybe going in a different direction than you thought. And then, so as an outcome, then you have the product of trusting in the Lord. Moving on, these two pieces are then a part of that time taking pictures at Max Patch. This one is called The Details. It's looking into the frame and the details that are within it, but also kind of showing that it's handmade as the hand interacts with the frame. Then with this piece, that piece is called Seeking Purpose. And so that's kind of the introduction to the first picture. And so this piece is like trusting in the Lord, seeking the purpose that He has for you. Next, it moves into some of my ceramic pieces, which also show some of my abilities to use lighting and capture products within a studio. And so right here are two altered spiral mugs that are matching, and it's kind of highlighting the forms, but also shows off the handles from a front or from face on. So it really can show all those details in the form of the mugs. And then this piece is then a continuation. And so this one is called Balance. This one is called Complements because they complement each other, but this one, stacking the mugs in just 3 different versions, but they all go together as they're all the same altered mugs, just different glazes. And then some more ceramic pieces. These are some of my cylinders that I created. So this is called We Are the Outsiders. We used Mishima to go around the pot. So once it was leather hard, we did an underglaze, and then we put wax on, carved away what we wanted it to say, and then put a new underglaze on. And so on this piece, I put the saying, We Are the Outsiders. And also this was trying out a single lighting setup where I had a good shadow and then also a low depth of field, so then I was able to blur the background. And then this piece is called The Potter's Work. And so all around it, I put a Bible verse that says, you are the potter, we are the clay, we are the work of your hands. And so this is quite a big one, using speckled clay and also using the Mishima technique. Now moving into some of the fast exposure photography that I've done. And so this one, maybe not fast exposure, but this one was about 1/50th, 1/60th of a second, photographing on the infield at the racetrack, and then trying to pan to really get the car in focus, but also trying to leave the idea that there is a big audience in the back. So although they're blurred, it does show that motion within the photo. And then this goes into more of that fast photo where the shutter speed is really high, and we get the wood chips flying off the wood, but also it kind of goes along with the pictures that I gravitate towards, where it's not so much face on, but I get somebody doing something that they like working, or whether that's the one seeking purpose where they're looking out, and then more to come that we'll see. But then, so as you can see, these kind of have the same idea where it's not, you can't see their face, but yet you can get an idea of what is going on. And so this one is called Work to Be Done, kind of with, in the foreground you've got the frame pieces, but yet right underneath you've got the frames that are completed, but there's this stance that is evoking maybe like what is to come next, or just taking a second to rest, whatever it might be, but really going into the story of the frames more with this piece. And then this piece is called Looking Forward. This was also a part of my show Outsider, and so this is my dad, and he's looking up into what we still have to climb for Pikes Peak, but yet also we know where we've gone or how far we've come, but we also get to look forward as to what is to come. And then this piece is a part of my from documentary photography. This piece is titled Asbury Revival. We just, on a spur of the moment, we drove down to Asbury University, and we were a part of the revival, and so I got kind of just in the moment what was happening, and I think without doing much to the photo, there was a good balance and a good contrast with the photo. So then this, compared to the ones where people aren't looking, I've got a few portraits. So this is a portrait of my pops, and just going around, and I found that this moment was very nice, and then with it turned to black and white, it turned out being really good and high contrast with a good blur in the back while he's in focus. Then we've got this piece, and so this was a part of a challenge that I did doing lighting, but it turned into something more where I eventually got the lighting to a good point, and I was able to set it up in many different ways, and then this one turned out very nice. This is a fun one. This is a part of my 3D design class. It's called Little Man Over the Water, and so this is the little man, and then he's made over the water. So the project was really to create a sculpture that we would just leave in nature. So this is a rock that's pinched between two other rocks, and it's then stabilizing the little man on this plate that's balanced on a very tiny spot. And so that was a really fun one because I not only got to make it, but then photographing it afterwards was just also cool, so that I could keep the memory of this project. Then we've got some of my drone photos, and so this one is called Old Olivet, taking it and then through digital editing it to look as though it's created in a silver tone bath. And so this one was just really fun, and I think that through the edit it does convey kind of an older sense, but yet you get some of the new structures on campus. This one is Starved Rock, and so flying the drone out and then getting a really wide angle and just kind of being able to see these new views that I wouldn't in another sense. These are some that I've gotten in the past years, just some of the landscapes that I've taken that I've really enjoyed. So these are both out in Colorado. This is at Breckenridge. While I was snowboarding, I took my whole camera bag with me, and so I really like the composition and just the thirds that go into the picture. So there's a good third of trees, and then the land, and then the sky within the top third. This is called Red Rocks, and this is at Garden of the Gods. I like how the foreground is blurred and kind of gives depth to the rocks in the background. Then we've got